Now at 11, we've got a quick storm system on the way. It could throw some flurries at us, but it's really going to drop our temperatures. We'll talk about how much.
Plus, on thin ice, a safety warning tonight from a local fire department after 2 women had to be rescued from an icy pond. And we have new details tonight on a shooting that killed a teenage girl. How police are working to prevent gun violence at an apartment complex with a troubling trend. Live from Indy, you're watching 13 News. All right, take a look at your screen. What you see in blue is headed our way, and we want you to be ready. We have 1 day above freezing, then a serious temperature tumble. So, Matt, it's back to that bitter cold, Arctic air, whatever we want to call it, going below zero.
Yeah, it's going to get real cold this week.
Yeah.
Last week we got cold in the middle of the week, but we didn't have as much of the wind.
Okay.
This time we have about the same amount of cold, but the wind's gonna be a lot worse.
So wind chills.
Wind chills are gonna be bad.
Oof.
Yeah, it's gonna get a lot colder across central Indiana. So we gotta get that front fully through. In the meantime, there is actually a very weak warm front that's pushing across central Indiana now. We're in the 20s, and I think many of us will stay in the 20s overnight tonight. We'll eventually have some clouds building back in a little bit more for tomorrow ahead of some flurry chances. Right now we're dry. We should stay mainly dry tonight. But as we look off to the north, we will have some flurry chances. You know, we've already had some good snow. Here's some of the snowfall totals over the past 36 hours. If you want to see a more detailed list, we have it right now at WTHR.com. Just go to the weather blog section. You can see all those snowfall total reports. All right, here are the weather maps. Warm front slips on through. That warm front will actually get us to above freezing tomorrow. First time in 9 days, but you can also see some flurries and a little bit of sleet trying to mix in with some of these bands. We're going to time out when you could possibly see some of these flurries and who has the best chance of getting the most concentrated ones. That's all coming up.
All right, Matt, thanks so much. A mother and daughter are recovering tonight after falling through an ice-covered pond in Greenwood. This is the kind of danger first responders caution people about in cold weather. Marina Silva in studio for us tonight with what happened. Marina?
Well, Jenny, luckily another neighbor had a rope and with the help of police was able to get the 2 back to safety. But now Greenwood firefighters are warning people, be careful of ice on ponds. This pond sits behind multiple homes on Winterwood Drive in Greenwood. Friday evening, Greenwood fire say a dog ran out onto the pond and a woman ran to save the dog. The woman ended up falling through the ice, so her daughter went to save her, also falling through the ice.
It was estimated that they were both about 30 to 40 feet away from the shore in the water. While on the phone with 911, the caller reported that a neighbor had a rope and had thrown the rope to the 2 victims and helped pull them to shore.
Firefighters say if you live near water, you need to be extra careful.
When you let them out, to make sure that they can't venture past a set point. It's also a good idea to have something in mind like a driveway marker or a curb marker. Place it in, tell your kids you can't go past that.
If you do see someone who has fallen through the ice, there are ways to help them without going in.
Do not try to go out onto the water because then that gives us from 1 victim, we now have 2 victims if you fall through the water. Like this neighbor did, throw a rope, throw a life preserver, something out to them so they can keep themselves afloat.
While it has been below freezing, you can never tell how thick the ice is. In this case, even the ducks were able to break through. Well, Jenny, I was out in the neighborhood today talking to neighbors, and I even noticed the hill and it was pretty steep where the pond is. I had to be careful that I didn't slip. So
Yeah.
It comes right up to the backyards. So.
It is a real danger, and I know,
Yes.
you know, firefighters talk about it every year. Even though it looks like it's frozen, it may
might
not be.
I mean, I even saw one of those ducks take a step and
Went
went
right
in
through.
the water. So
Yeah.
it can be very thin. You don't know.
Okay, well, certainly glad that those 2 women
Yes,
are
very
okay.
glad they're safe.
All right, Marina, thank you. Well, tonight, Indianapolis DPW crews are still working to clear all that snow from city streets. We got a statement from DPW saying they are still working around the clock from yesterday's snow and have made substantial progress. Once all the main roads and secondary roads are clear, they'll move on to connector streets all across the city. New tonight, we've learned the person shot and killed this morning at a Southside apartment complex is a teenage girl. Metro Police sharing that update with us on the victim this evening. The shooting happened on Salisbury Lane at the Laurelwood Apartments. That's near Shelby Street and East Sumner Avenue. Police found the girl shot and killed around 11 a.m. outside the apartment complex. Tonight, they're still searching for the person who pulled the trigger. Investigators also tell us IMPD has responded to several shootings at the Laurelwood Apartments in recent months. In fact, in July, 5 people got shot on the basketball court. IMPD telling 13 News they will do what they can to stop gun violence here.
It's certainly disturbing, and that's why, as an agency, we want to bring resources, not just from law enforcement, but whatever resources we have to provide to this particular apartment complex. From my understanding, it's somewhat of a quieter neighborhood, and so that would scare anybody.
Now, we should learn the name and age of the teenage girl killed from the coroner on Monday. Meanwhile, if you have any information that can help detectives, call Crime Stoppers. Remember, you can stay anonymous. The number 317-262-TIPS. Metro Police arrested a 20-year-old Indianapolis man after an early morning shooting on the northwest side of town. The suspect faces preliminary charges of battery and criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon. Those are felonies. Police reports show the shooting happened around 2:45 a.m. at the Chispas Discotheque nightclub. That's near 38th Street and Lafayette Road. State of Indiana will swear in a new governor on Monday. Mike Braun and other state leaders will all take the oath of office sometime after 11 a.m. Monday. And take a look tonight. People are celebrating with an inaugural gala. Ladies in gowns, guys in tuxes, all at the JW Marriott downtown tonight. It's one of several weekend celebrations. Tomorrow, the Braun family will attend Mass at St. Peter and Paul Cathedral at 10 a.m. And they're also hosting a Hoosier Heritage Family Day. That'll be at the Indiana State Museum. It's from 1 until 4 Sunday. It is free to attend, but families are encouraged to RSVP.